Hi everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching these sessions, these chats that I have with industry experts and friends of mine. These are the Bread for Soul convos. And in this edition, I am with an Avant Garde Troupe. That is Thabo Palatse, Trev the Japanese, and the legendary KSK. And this episode is recorded because of the schedule Samajita, but I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get the info that you might need or might use in your own career. Thank you so much. Cool. Yeah. Let's do this. These are the Bread for Soul convos, and the main idea for these chats was to share experiences, our own experiences in the music industry with other people who might be keen. And I've been speaking to DJs, producers, label owners, and today I'm speaking to Machita Avant Garde Troupe. I don't know whether to call you guys DJs and event planners or what. Even from what do I call you guys? Avant Garde.
How do you feel? How do you feel?
I mean, at this moment, I think it doesn't really matter where one boxes you or try to boxes you. But the most important thing, what I wanted to chat to you about, what I wanted to chat with you guys is your movement. You know, you guys have created this movement, and it's been going on for quite some time. I'm speaking to Trev the Japanese, Thabo Palatse, and the legendary KSK. And you guys have booked DJ Spinner, you've booked Kaidi Tatham, Shuya from Kyoto Jazz Massive, just to name a few artists that you've booked. Why, what's the main purpose of these events that you guys create? And I'm speaking, let me ask Kaya to get in there.
So before I answer that, I think I'm not sure if you answered on the first question, whether are we event coordinators or are we DJs. Maybe I can just ask, maybe I can just answer from my perspective. The legendary KSK is most definitely not a DJ. He's an ambience coordinator. But I think we can spend another 45 minutes discussing what an ambience coordinator. But in short, it's basically, it's self-explanatory. I look at the ambience and I have a particular idea that I want to get by the end of my set, not just my set, but also looking into the event as a collective. So whichever movement that I play for, I always look at what is their ambition, what is their aspirations, what the ambience they want to create. And based on that, that's how I curate my music. And that's one of the main reasons why you'll hardly ever find me playing anywhere else, because I haven't found any other movement that I'm able to play free as I am as Avant Garde. And that, I think, provides a good segue in terms of what is Avant Garde and what's the kind of music and why we select the kind of DJs that we want to do. So we select the kind of DJs and the music based on our preferences, based on what we want to see going forward. There's a lot of movements that we see coming around and up and coming, which we highly appreciate. We think that's also contributing to the culture. But our main big thing is basically to keep the culture going, is to contribute to the culture of music and to contribute to the culture of purism and making sure that we get the best out of quality, and we're making sure that the best musicians out there get recognized. And all of these guys, if you look at them, the guys that we've had, the Dusties and the Digos and the Kaidis, they're not your mainstream kind of guys, but these are the guys that give you like proper kind of music, proper sound. And it's our responsibility, we feel, is that we need to get these guys known. The guy that we're about to get now, Abashe, correct my spelling if I'm wrong, Japanese.
No, you're correct.
Is it Abashe? Yeah. Abashe is
Abashe,
exactly
yes.
that. Yeah, Abashe is exactly that. Abashe is one of us actually. I mean, if you look at a typical Trev, the Japanese is a lot of people would not know who he is if it wasn't for the platform that we've created. I think it would have. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I think it would have happened that maybe, depending on how stubborn it is, the environment and the kind of music that exists would have easily swayed him towards going a particular route. But because of how strong he is in terms of the kind of music that he's created this environment together, obviously with Tabo and myself, where we can make it, let me call it a living. Let me not say a living actually, but we have a space to play. Let me call it that. So Abashe, Dusty, and all those kind of cats are all guys that are just similar to the guys that just want to get the best out there.
Cool.
Hope that answers you.
Yeah.
Sir LSG.
It does, bro. And I wanna throw a question to Trev. You guys used to do monthly events, Koro Kafela in Soweto.
Yeah, correct.
Avant Garde Vintage Lounge, and I've never attended an empty Avant Garde Vintage Lounge. Like, you guys seem to have always had the masses coming through, the support. But I want to know what was the reason behind stopping to do the monthly events and then moving to do two events a year, which is Sankofa Africa and Connecting the Dots.
Yeah, we didn't want to actually stop it abruptly like we did. We wanted the transition to be a bit gradual. So by that I'm trying to say, monthly you would see that we are gathering a following, and we are trying to gather an understanding from our fellow music lovers, so to say. Now, if you end up doing all that and you want to keep it fresh and you want everybody to not to lose interest, you do realize that the more you do it and the more people get interested, the more people will want to replicate, so to say, or want to do something identical to what you do, because it's their way of showing that they appreciate it. So in looking at that, you realize that it might be easy to lose yourself in the process if you don't constantly reinvent. So, and one of the ways would be try and find something exciting to do all the time, which becomes very difficult with the limited number of alternative spinners that we have in the country or across the globe. So to try and manage that, your other alternative is not to overfeed your patrons. Is try and limit it to create the desire, and to create almost like ensure that the guys miss your movement. So if you reduce the frequency, you're trying to say, I'm thinking about what to do next. I'm thinking about how to execute it, because I mean, if just imagine, it will become so monotonous if every month we were to do almost one and the same thing. It became also very difficult to find spinners of a caliber where you would say, these are some of the spinners that we would like to unleash, much as we know that there's a lot of spinners across the globe, but we felt maybe there's not enough to sustain what we wanted to sustain. At some point, it was gonna die a slow death. So to revive it is to pull it out of the market and try and look at better ways of doing it, which is why we tried to actually introduce what you see now as Avant Garde Connecting the Dots. That was our way of saying, let's rebrand, let's try and travel the world, let's try and source for the talent that really could help us to keep the fire burning. Hope that answers you.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It's your answer. I mean, what can I say? But it does. It does. I want to ask Tabo something. So, like, just touching on what Trevor said and talking about the international travels that you guys have taken and connecting the dots, in a literal sense. Like, you guys have traveled to Brazil, and sometime last year you went to Chicago. Why is it so important for these international travels that you guys make?
Yeah, so like the name would say it, connecting the dots. So the travels are important in a sense that, for example, we went to Germany in 2017, where we hooked up with Dusty, and Dusty hooked us up with the guys in Brazil. So already that's like from one continent to another. From Europe all the way to South America, and even still, even if I have to take it back to Japan, the Shuyas, they connected us to Kaidis and Digos of the world. So it also, like he said, it keeps the movement going, and it connects the chain. So the dots get connected from one continent into another, and all reflecting into Africa, or even the Southern Hemisphere, to put it like that.
And can I just get on again with you, Thabo, with regards to the connecting the dots, and do you then find that the movement that you guys are creating locally, how is the space in where you've traveled with regards to this movement? Like, how is it received? Like Dusty and in his own movement, or in his scene, is it similar to what we see you guys doing in South Africa, or are there certain differences with regards to those scenes abroad?
Yeah, look, the scenes are quite different in a sense that the attendance, number one, and in the ones that we've attended specifically, it's small amount. It's about a crowd of probably between 50 and 100 or so, but the music is well received, definitely. I mean, in Munich, when we did the gig with Dusty, we were there until around 3 a.m. or so, and the crowd was just receiving all types of genres that we were playing towards them, and it's well received. And I'm not saying South Africa doesn't receive it well. We have that niche market that we've identified as Avant Garde Troupe that actually look forward to the event that we do, either being Sankofa Africa or Connecting the Dots.
Cool. And
if I can just add on to what Thabo said,
sure.
Sir LSG,
Sure.
is I actually wanted to confirm the difference that, in fact, in South Africa, from my perspective, that I've seen that in terms of the movement, in terms of the alternative music, where we are now, we quite way ahead. The way I think from a numbers perspective, I think we enjoy as Avant Garde a good privilege of filling up our venues to more than 300 to 400 sort of individuals in one room, which I think for me it's it's something to be proud of. Just thought it's worth mentioning that.
Yeah. And I mean, like you say 300, 400, but Cafex is big, my man. And what I saw with the DJ spin attendance, that was a really good attendance. You know what I mean?
Now I'm using the average.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. So
from where we started off, and then we started off with 40. You remember this?
30, in fact.
It was 30. It was our first gig.
Damn. And so starting with 30 patrons to doing an event with 1,000 plus people in a big venue like Cafex, I want to ask you and direct this question to you, KSK. What are the financial challenges that you guys have come across while doing these events?
Do you do the slideshow or
like is it always like a tough planning thing, or every year, or does it get better as you guys go financially?
that case stuff, yeah.
No, I think if I recall correctly, I had a lifeline in these questions, and I think this is one of those questions I would like to pass over to Trev.
Cool.
So, to make sure that I'm answering K's question appropriately, would you mind asking that again?
So I want to know financially, is it obviously like I can imagine it's not an easy thing to do, especially when you are bringing in an international act and you're booking the venue, you're booking other local acts, and you're doing accommodation, you're doing promotion and all of these stuff. But I want to know from a financial point of view, is it becoming easier as the years go by, or is it becoming simply more expensive to carry out this passion?
I hope in the manner in which I respond to this, it is not seen as one seeking pity. So the quickest answer to that is it can never be easy, and the more we do it, it becomes a lot more difficult. Let me paint a picture of our average cost for each event that we host. So each event is sitting on our approximately 210,000 as a budget per event. So before we even start the event, we are already on minus 205,000. Okay. How can I break that down to you? Is for example, if we get an international act, we spend nothing less than 80,000 for one international act. So as you might be aware that all these costs that include your fees, your travel, your accommodation, hospitality, one person will end up enjoying maybe a privilege of over 100K or so to take care of them for a minimum of 3 days. So those expenses are quite heavy on us, which is why you see the biggest struggle we have all the years is to maintain the value of our event and not lose anything at that. But that you do it at either your cost or you collaborate with your fellow music lovers by way of charging a fee for entrance, which is usually the biggest challenge for us to determine what would be a suitable fee, because what we mostly look for is not necessarily profit. It's mostly to cover our expenses. And now, if you pass on this expense so in short, in the 9 years that we've hosted all the events, I can safely say that what we would enjoy the most is breaking even. I can't tell you that we said and say we've made a considerable amount of profit to build into the next event. Each event we carry the cost, and we are grateful to the patrons for always being open to supporting in a way. So that actually keeps us going in the sense that we must make sure that we don't drop the ball. We make sure that the quality is really we keep the standard where it is. It's either that or higher than that. Yeah. Never below the previous one. So the expense side it's a difficult one. So yeah, I can tell you our base expense nothing less than 200,000 per event. So in short, 400K for the 2 events.
Yeah, damn man. So I'm really inspired by the passion you guys have, because to spend that amount of money with no guarantee and nothing, no safety net, it's really powerful, and it's really commendable, and it's not an easy passion to carry through, and I'm also really grateful that you guys receive the amount of support that you receive from your patrons. But I also wanted to ask you now, with such a proven track record, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and the events are being more successful, the structure is there, you guys market on time, and there is a track record, but why is it difficult still for you guys to get sponsorships?
Must I call all these guys and put them on the line?
Let me ask.
No, I'm saying all these guys that are sitting with the money.
No, but I'm saying from your point of view, why do you think that let me ask Thabo to take this one if he doesn't want to take a left line.
But Thabo, before you answer, Trev, can you? My OCD is kicking in. Can you just move back a bit? Your video doesn't look. Yeah, that looks better. Thank you. Okay, carry on, Pratap.
Bully.
No, I thought I was helping.
No, thank you.
It actually looks,
yeah.
We could only see your beard, unfortunately.
No, now.
Yeah, I think he's clear now. I think now he's quite visible.
Yeah, it's proper now.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So going back to your question, and I think the guys should add in as well on the points that I would probably miss.
Yeah.
But we're not saying we haven't attempted a few sponsors. We do attempt, and to us, it would be a plus to obviously have that financial muscle, but we still carry on with or without. So some of the sponsorship that we receive, it's not of monetary value. So it would be in support of maybe some sort of equipment or some additional experience from, I'll give an example, a guy like Kulafe, who would actually assist us in terms of getting the band technical rider up to scratch, the models and all that. I mean, those as well would be the support that we also receive, and obviously from the patrons.
Sure. KSK, do you wanna add a bit?
Yeah. I think we've received quite a considerable amount of support, sponsorship that is, and as Thabo said, it's a pity most of it is not in monetary value, but it still is well appreciated. So one of the things that we value a lot is what we call Viva Voce, which is a spread of marketing by using the word of mouth. I think for me that actually surpasses all the SMSs and all the flyers that we could ever do. There's people on the streets talking about Avant Garde, talking about the quality of our events. That goes unnoticed. Together with that, I think the last couple of years we've established quite a good relationship with Kaya FM, which has helped us significantly in at least also getting to their market. Particularly the last event that we had with DJ Spina. The amount of airplay that they gave us through the advertisement and also through Jazzwari, the monetary value of that is a lot compared to the 300 or 400 that we would need. So the guys like Greg Malokas, they value and they give us the good feedback, and that on its own is quite something that's quite appreciated. We've also worked with Milk Stout, where they've helped us with some infrastructure, which help in reducing our expenses quite significantly. We had things like umbrella, we had things like chairs, and then we had a couple of concepts in between, a couple of drinks as well throughout the year. So yeah, to say that we haven't received any in sponsorship at all would be incorrect.
Cool.
But yeah, we are getting quite a lot. I think it's significant for us to keep us still running. If it wasn't for them, probably the expense would be a lot more higher than the envisaged 200,000 per event.
Yeah. Trev, did you?
I'm very controversial.
Okay.
So the guys are very very much correct. I mean, you have the likes of your colleagues that understand our movement, tried lending in a helping hand here and there. But above everything, one would accept that they also looking for return on investment, so to say. And I think their return on investment, if they want to look at it, mostly are more about the numbers. Mostly are more about how many people do you have, how many units would you push out, and that honestly doesn't speak much to Avant Garde. So we're still also looking for a way of getting that brand that is aligned fully to us, and that's worried more about that patient build-up of saying now we have a plan for the next 5 or 10 years. What do we do? So we are here to find that kind of a brand that will sit with us. I think most of them are just observing from the sideline, and they keep asking, how about you come and we do this and that? When it's the time, everyone disappears, and no one really shows up to say this is what we do. They always show up post. They're probably waiting for a prominent figure to come in and say, take these guys serious, and then suddenly they're like, we've been supporting and we're gonna come in, and then when that glory supposedly comes out, everybody suddenly was part of that. I think that's cheating. It's actually cheating. We must live or die together. When we start, we must start, and you must give us your expectations, and we outline all those things to say this is how we're gonna measure you. This is how we're gonna look at this. This is how we're gonna look at that. So if anything and everything is based on a contract or key performance indicators or key result areas, you would know what you are working towards. So I can tell you now, we've got the fanciest proposal you can ever see on earth. But nobody reads those things.
Yeah.
Nobody reads those things. They keep asking for them, and they keep receiving them. But what do they do with it? I mean, we've got some funky documents, which is why I asked you. You need a slideshow for all the things that we're talking about, so you can be able to see. Now we start up and we say, okay, we're talking to LSG. What is the objective? And they'll say, okay, the objective is to reach out. Okay, would we reach out to for what? And then we can start doing that, and we can start putting it out and say, maybe open the comment section that says, you're not getting it because of this and that and that and that and that and that. So we would be grateful one day to someone that will come and say, yes, 200,000. Let's do it, but here's my expectation, and we work through that. But that's the base.
Sure. No, gents. Now, for me personally, I'm very much inspired by, like, firstly the passion that you guys have for what you guys do, and they're also like the kind of attitude that you have from a music standpoint, that to really believe and push in what you believe in, and I think a lot of people can take a lot of info and inspiration from that too. But I just wanted to ask you one last question. Do you guys plan like 10 years ahead, or do you take the years as they come and see how much the event grows?
I want to answer this one last, but I want to push it over to Kaya because he's our professor.
Yeah, Professor Kaya.
I don't know why I'm professor. So in terms of planning for the event, no. We do not plan year to year. In fact, the bigger plan is a 25-year plan, all broken down into 5 years. 5 years gets broken down into the single years. That's actually how it works. Sure. So I think we will share a little bit more information later in terms of what else are we still planning for the upcoming years. Sure. But no, to answer your question, no, we do not plan
cool.
year to year. Cool. There's always a plan where we actually how we want to see the movement going forward. We already have the artists that we want to book for the next 3 years, for the next 5 years, for the next, we have a 10-year reunion, we have a 20-year reunion, 25-year reunion, and so on, yeah.
Sure. Hey, man, just in one of those reunions, just remember my name, please, guys. Please. In the next 25 years. In the next 25 years, guys, please, just 1 year where you guys, maybe let's call this guy after 15 years, then I'll appreciate it.
For sure.
Trev.
Just not to be out of line. I mean, we sit and think about these things, all of us. Like you say, we know that there are certain kind of spinners for a certain kind of sound or certain kind of market. So now, if one individual is almost identical to individual X, we look at them and say, okay, you got two soulful house spinners, you need them both. So definitely the answer would be no. But it doesn't mean that the other one is not equally satisfactory. But what it could mean is sometimes we look at how often is this person out there, and the less often is the much better on our side. Or if we want to say on the more often, it's mostly about the legendary status of saying, oh, okay, this one has been the same over the years and nothing has changed, and we value those and we always keep them there. And the other part of this is, we have those that are not recognized at all, that have never been seen behind the booth at all. How about we consider those and we do that? And also the less, our female groups, we know there's plenty of those, and they always feel a little hard done. In reality, they were hard done, that they were never considered more often. We prioritize that. So for us, there has to always be that discovery of a female spinner, be it a legendary one or be it an up-and-coming one, but the consideration has to be there. So we try and strike that balance. So the name LSG, no, it will never be forgotten. Don't worry about it. So there are thoughts, around that. We're trying to bounce off the idea of how we want to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. Of course, we won't satisfy everyone, but there is a plan on ensuring that there is a balance across all genres, across all different kinds of spinners. Who knows? We might be lucky to celebrate it for the entire weekend. I don't know. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying that could be an idea as well. But yeah.
Sure.
We have those names, and we battle to really imagine. Now we postpone our May event, so that tells you now we still have all those spinners that we're supposed to play in May. So if we decide to push them next year May, it means if one of us we had planned to have that person next year, we've pushed them a year ahead or so. So that's the sort of thing that we look at. So. Sure. Don't worry.
Anyway, just one last quick question to you, Tibos. Do you think these sort of movements, like what you guys have going, do you think there could be more of these in our scene? Is there space for more of these kind of movements and events and musically curated events?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's this pie is very huge. You just have to obviously slice it up appropriately, and it should be of satisfactory too. But the more types of these events occur, the better. The spread becomes bigger. The music becomes even broader. You are able to touch on a certain market that you never got to touch. It's big enough. This is big enough for all of us.
Sure.
And obviously the primary focus to such movement or such event is to keep the culture going, and that we should not forget. So, and we try our level best to also see the up and coming cultures that are being, especially in the locations and all that. We try our best to attend and see what is their field in terms of this receiving this type of music. Sure. So it's the pie is big enough for everyone.
Sure. KSK, can I just ask you one last question, brother? How would you advise people, like young person out there who's really passionate about a niche unusual type of sound, to really pursue it, and how can they build that into hopefully one day becoming an event?
First, I would reiterate Tira's words. That is for them to go back to school.
Yeah, nice one.
That would be my first message.
Yeah.
Secondly, you really have to have the passion, because believe me, if you're going to be doing it for fame and money or whatever, it's not worth your while. You might as well get onto the other kind of music. Just follow the wave. Whatever, but it takes a lot of passion. It takes a lot of dedication, and if you're really not in it for the long while, you're definitely going to have a hard time. For me, the big thing is that always align yourself to the people that have done it before. Align yourself to the existing sort of movements. Not to duplicate it, but always learn from their experiences. Always have the guidance. Always try and attend, as Tabo said, attend other people's events. See what they're doing right. Ask them what are the lessons learned, which artists they would recommend, all of this kind of. So for me, the big thing is that establish the good relations between. Because as I said, is that the rewards are not that much. So you might as well just share the risk.
Sure.
And by sharing the risk is, for example, if we are getting a DJ spinner, and we know which there's a guy who's doing solid sound in Durban, we somehow share the cost. We know where there's a guy who's doing a solid session in Cape Town. We go to the guy, we get them at a minimal cost. So that somehow keeps their movement as well as our movement going. And that contributes to the culture altogether. And that's, for me, I think it's quite important. Not to start from the scratch, learn from others, and establish allegiance.
Sure. Bro, that's so powerful.
Yeah. And just to add on that, I mean, there's certain qualities you definitely need, and not to let go of honesty, integrity. I mean, we see a lot of dishonest individuals within this. So that's the number one quality that I probably feel people should really try and build on from, and ensure that they remain. So people like Kai has highlighted, if it's money, you're gonna lose it, and you're gonna start being dishonest.
Yeah.
If it's the passion, you won't see anything else but what you do,
Sure.
and you never worry about much. Funny enough, I mean, I've been engaging with different individuals. Also, yesterday, people will send you mixtapes and ask for your time, and then you start discussing, and they ask you, what do I do here? What do I do here? And then you give them your opinion. You give yourself time. You listen, rearrange, and tell them, this is what I think I would do. And then suddenly they say, oh, actually, it makes a lot of sense, and they start building from that. So yeah, collaboration is the way to go.
Sure. Perfect.
Yeah.
Tiwos, one last word that you wanna say.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, no.
I'm good. I think what the one thing that I would really like to say is thank you for this platform. I think with the current situation in the country, or even globally, we appreciate this platform that you're giving us to obviously see how everyone is doing, and what plans can we make going forward, if this would be our new way to life, that is.
Yeah.
But
Thank you, James. Thank you so much. For me, it's all...
This background, LSG, where is it? Is it in Brazil, or where is it?
Which one?
The background you have here.
In my picture.
Yeah.
It's a bridge.
The picture behind me.
These houses
No.
that I see here.
You swipe.
Oh, okay. No, that's my wallpaper in my computer. It's in it's in Greece. Hopefully, if I make enough money, I'll take my woman there for a honeymoon or something in the future. So I'm projecting it into the future. Yeah.
Is that where you want
Yeah,
to
it looks like a favelas.
Okay.
No, but very good. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate this.
All right. Pleasure, brother.
Hola. Sure.
Sharp. Hola. Ciao.